Your silence is going to cost you a lot. Trust me, I've been there. Is this you in a meeting where you're sitting with your colleagues, your boss right in front of you, and you're feeling intimidated? You have all these thoughts running in your head. You have an opinion. You want to say things, but you just don't have the courage to speak up. It's like something inside you stops you, eats you. And then the worst thing happens. Someone in that room, in that meeting, says the exact same thing that you were thinking about. And then you feel pathetic. You feel like a loser. You feel irritated that you should have just said it. Does this sound like you? If you're watching this and thinking, yes, Meher, that's totally me, chances are you're not alone. Many of us feel shy to speak up in team meetings. And that's exactly what I'm going to talk about in today's video. Hi, my friends. My name is Meher. I'm your career coach and mentor, helping you accelerate your career. And today's video is all about how you can take these steps to have an opinion and speak up in team meetings. How you can actually develop the courage to share what you're thinking. For years, I went from meeting to meeting, discussion to discussion in all my jobs without mustering the courage to speak up. I just feared that I would look stupid, that people in the room were smarter than me. I had imposter syndrome, I had self-doubt. I just did not have the confidence. And I just thought to myself that I'm not speaking up because I'm an introvert, because I'm shy. But the truth is that I was just not well prepared. I did not consciously take the effort to do the things that I'm going to talk to you about today. I know a lot of you are also struggling with this because I did a poll on my YouTube community and you wanted me to make a video on this. So grab a notebook and a cup of chai and let's begin. First and foremost, why exactly is it important to speak up in team meetings? See, unfortunately, the truth is if you do not speak up in team meetings, your visibility will reduce. People will not remember that you were in the meeting in the first place. So if you're not remembered that you were in the meeting, your visibility will be reduced. You will not be recognized. Somebody who was speaking up more than you would be the one who would be recognized, and therefore your impact will reduce at work. So when it comes to giving a promotion, will it be Ben who gets a promotion, who was sharing his thoughts and opinions, or will it be Ken who was just sitting down in the corner making notes and not saying anything, even though he had amazing ideas playing in his mind? So you want to be remembered, you want to be recognized because your opinions, your expertise, your experience, your thoughts, your perspectives need to be shared. You are in that room for a reason. You were hired for a reason. If you just put your head down and keep doing the hard work, nobody will think that you are doing the hard work. And there is a beautiful quote that says, every time you speak up, you're auditioning for leadership. People will recognize you as a leader if you do share your opinions. So now I'm going to share with you how you actually can muster the courage to start speaking up. As always, I'm going to start with some mindset hacks. Now, if your mind is not trained, you won't be able to take action. And that's why it all starts from within. The inner work has to be done first before we go and take the actions for the outer world. The first and foremost mindset hack I want you to do is narrate and recite positive affirmations for yourself. Now, what are positive affirmations? Positive affirmations are just statements that you recite to yourself where you affirm within yourself that yes, you are capable, yes, you are strong, yes, you have the right experience, yes, you add value, yes, you have the knowledge. You can use positive affirmations to reinforce the confidence within you. So you can say things like, my voice matters to the team, my opinion matters to the team, I have valuable insights to share with my team. Repeat these phrases before every meeting, and trust me, if you become your own best friend, if you change that narrative, the negative self-talk that is going on in your brain that is stopping you, no Meher, don't speak up right now. What will people think? If you challenge that inner voice by narrating something positive instead of negative, you will see the difference in how your attitude changes, in how your behavior changes, in how your confidence increases. Positive affirmation reinforce the belief in yourself, the self-belief that you are able to do anything that you want. Positive affirmations lead to positive thinking, and when you think positive thoughts, your stress reduces, your mental health improves, your performance improves. And there are various studies that have been conducted on this. So the more positive you are, the more satisfied you will be about yourself. And the more satisfied you feel on the inside, then your performance will also improve because you will want to work hard, because you will want to put in your best foot forward. So do this as a homework. Before every important meeting, recite positive affirmations for yourself. Start doing that at least a few days in advance. So by the time the meeting comes, you're already accustomed to think positively. And that brings me to the second hack, which is that you need to start remembering your value. My friend, you were hired into the organization for a reason. You're just as good as a Ben, as a Geeta, as a Sita, anybody in your team. You're not some nincompoop that people just want to pay a good salary to. You deserve a seat on the table, and because you deserve a seat on the table, your voice matters. Please remember, you're a valuable member of the team. If you don't think you're valuable, how will your boss think so? So I want you to start reminding yourself of all the unique strengths, the experiences, the expertise that you have that you're bringing to the table. Remember that if you don't contribute, the team will miss out on some valuable inputs. And if your team misses out on valuable inputs, the project will not go as per plan. So you owe it not just to yourself, but to the team for the overall success of the team. The third hack is focus on the message and not on yourself. This is really important because there is something known as the spotlight effect. All of us think that everyone in the room just cares about us, is thinking about us, is judging us all the time. But you know what? Ben is very happy in his own world. Sita is very happy focusing on her problems. Nobody gives about us beyond a point. So stop focusing on yourself so much. People do not care beyond a point. And even if they do care, they'll think about you for 30 seconds and then move on. There's enough of stuff going on in their own lives and they need to focus on that needs their attention. You're not that important. Stop giving yourself that much importance. My friends, if you're finding this video useful, please take a second to subscribe to my channel and share this video with a friend who may find it useful. Also, don't forget to follow me on my Instagram page, MSB Vision. You know, when I started this YouTube channel, I did not tell my friends and family about it. That is because I thought everybody is going to judge me and think about me and make fun of me. And that's true. They may be doing that. But does it really matter at the end of the day? No. I am so happy creating content, helping people like you on their career journeys that I've stopped thinking about the spotlight effect. That I don't spend too much time thinking that everybody out there is just against me and is just thinking negatively about me. How does it matter? They probably think about me for 1 minute and then forget about it and go on with their day. So look at this image. One person is thinking, oh my God, this person is noticing my bad, messy hair. And the other person is also thinking that, oh my God, she's noticing the stain on my shirt. We're all thinking the same thing. We're all worried about our own insecurities, that we don't have time to be thinking about others beyond a point. People are very selfish. They're very self-centered. So I want you to start thinking about the content of the message that you're going to share, instead of focusing on how it will be perceived if you say it. Just think of the contribution that you're making in terms of the sentence that you're going to say. So for example, you can say something like, hey boss, don't forget about this one thing, reminding them about something that maybe you know about or something you worked on. If you don't share it with your boss in that minute, they'll forget about it. And again, it may be a backlash against you later. And your boss may say, why didn't you speak up about it in the team meeting? So please always remember, when you're about to contribute in the meeting, when you're sitting there in the room, just think of what you're going to say and not how you're going to say it. And oh my God, I'm going to say it. The message over the messenger, always. Now let's come on to the actionable steps that you can take. The first and foremost, like I always say, over preparation helps us feel more confident. If you have a meeting in the diary, you know the agenda of the meeting. Go through the agenda of the meeting. Think about a few points that you're going to talk about. Think of the questions that you can ask well in advance. So just do some homework before the meeting starts so that you are well aware about what is going to be talked about and you come in with your inputs. If you go into a meeting blindsided, you don't know what you're going to talk about, that is when you will not have the confidence to speak up. But if you go well in advance, you know that I'm going to talk about these 5 to 6 things, or maybe just even 2 things. So as a homework, if you have a meeting in the diary, go through the agenda of the meeting, jot down your thoughts and your points, and even write down the anticipated questions that you could ask. If you lay the foundation beforehand, you will be able to present a more confident version of yourself. You will come across as someone with knowledge, you will come across as someone who has come well prepared, and therefore it will become super easy for you to contribute to the meeting. And that brings me to the second point, which is that you can take the smallest step possible. You do not have to be the loudest person in the meeting. You do not even have to speak up all the time. Just give yourself a little bit of a challenge. Give yourself a little bit of a push. For example, when I wanted to start speaking up in team meetings, I set myself a challenge that, Meher, in the next 5 meetings, I'm going to say at least one thing. Now that could be asking the smallest question. That could be summarizing the points that we have discussed already. That could be taking the action to say, hey, I will send out an email with all the meeting notes that we've discussed today. It could also be the smallest thing in terms of, let's say Ben in the meeting said, I think we should work on project X in this manner. You can just agree or disagree with them. You can say something like, hey Ben, I agree with you. In fact, we should also look into this. That's a great way to begin, because if you just add on to somebody's perspective, you're not sharing something new as such. You're just adding an additional value. So do this as a homework for the next 10 meetings that you have in your diary. Just give yourself the challenge of saying just one thing, one comment, one idea, or even just one question. Slowly and steadily, your confidence will increase. The third thing that you can do is actually volunteering for tasks. So now, like I said, if you do not have the courage to share your perspective, what you can do is raise your hand to say that either you'll take the meeting notes, or that you will send the agenda for the next meeting, or that you will set up the next few meetings in the diary for everybody, ask for everybody's availability and send them a calendar invite. Just by taking up additional responsibilities, you will have your voice heard, and that will make you more accustomed to contributing in some form or the other. The fourth thing is that I want you to start practicing active listening. Sometimes in meetings, what happens is that our thoughts start playing in our minds and we get distracted and we stop thinking and paying attention to what is actually going on around us. And because we're not listening, we are unable to speak up and we're unable to contribute. The more you listen, the more knowledgeable you will feel. And then the more knowledgeable you will feel is when you will be able to say something and add something on. So if your boss agrees with a Ben in the meeting, and if you weren't listening, you will lose the opportunity to contribute. So you need to practice listening, making notes. As you're making notes, maybe some ideas will come into your mind. So when the person is done speaking, you can go back to your diary and think of the one point that you had written down and then actually speak up. The next step is that think of when you will contribute. The timing of your contribution is really important. Now, like I said, when I had set that challenge for myself to speak up in the next 10 meetings, I made sure to speak up in either the first 10 minutes of the meeting or the last 10 minutes of the meeting. Because that way, I have set that challenge for myself. In the beginning of the meeting, I can say something like, hey, how has everybody been? How has your work week been? How's the project going? I'm really excited for today's meeting because of XYZ reasons. And towards the end of the meeting, you can summarize the points. You can take action for the next meeting. You can say that you will send the minutes of the meeting to everybody who attended. If you think of the timing of when you will contribute well in advance, you will be able to prepare a little bit better. The next thing you need to do is reflect on your successes. Let's say you went in for a meeting and you did actually say something, even if it was the smallest thing possible, but make a note of it. Remember that, yes, Mehar, I did contribute in this meeting, because by the time you go in for the next meeting, you will remember that, hey, I contributed in that meeting, so I will be able to contribute in this meeting as well. After each meeting, reflect on what you said and what was the outcome of the message that you shared. The more you think of your successes, the more your confidence will increase. So use the successes as motivation to keep speaking up. And the last thing that you can do is seek feedback. There were people in the meeting, you can ask them after the meeting, hey, how did I do? Is there any feedback for me? Is there any way I can articulate my thoughts better? Asking these questions from your supervisor will make them think that yes, you have a growth mindset, that you're here to learn and that you value their feedback and their opinions. You're on this journey of self-improvement. You're trying to be a better version of yourself. So only when you seek feedback will you be able to refine and improve yourself. Now I want to talk to you about some particular situations that you all have sent me on Instagram. First and foremost, what happens if you're unable to articulate your thoughts? Again, that comes back to practice. The more well prepared you are and the more you practice speaking up is how well you will be able to articulate your thoughts. It all comes down to how well you practice. So let's say there's a very important project in your office going on about the Indian economy. Now, the more knowledge you have about the Indian economy, the more you practice speaking about it outside of work, outside of that meeting, the more you'll be able to articulate your thoughts in the meeting. You have to practice. Practice makes perfect. So take out the time to actually practice what you will say and gain that knowledge so that you are able to share that knowledge. Now, what to do if somebody cuts you off? Now, this can come across as rude. Now, I don't want you to take it as a personal attack. It is not something that they were probably doing intentionally. They were excited about the idea and they just cut you off while you were in mid-sentence. Don't take it personally, don't take it negatively. Get back to your point, rephrase it. You can say something like, to build on my previous point, I would like to add this. Bring everybody's attention back to what you were talking about. Again, this will become easier as your confidence increases, but do not let people walk all over you. Do not be a pushover. You need to stand up for what you're talking about. And the last thing is, if you feel anxious. If you feel anxious before a team meeting, please know that it is absolutely normal. You have to remember that you're in the room for a reason. You are invited to that meeting for a reason. You're somebody who brings value. You are somebody with knowledge. You're somebody who's energetic, who's motivated. You deserve to be heard. So stop the negative voice. Practice positive affirmations. Practice remembering your value. Practice articulating your thoughts clearly. The more you practice, the less your anxiety will be. And I'm telling you, this becomes easier with practice. So that's it, my friends. I want to wrap up today's video, but I want to leave you with just this one thought. Please remember that I have also been on this journey myself, and this is something that I would like to say, that your voice matters, your opinion matters. Just because you're the most junior person on the team doesn't mean that you have no knowledge, doesn't mean that you don't have any thoughts or a brain of your own. Start contributing to the room. Start taking the baby steps for your confidence to be built. Share your perspective for the success of your team and for your bright future. I hope this was useful for you. If you have any more questions, leave them in the comments down below and I will definitely cover them either in my next YouTube video or on my Instagram page. I'll be back soon with another one, but until then, keep hustling hard towards your goals. I hope to see you soon. Bye.